What up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's me, your favorite motivational trader, and I want to motivate you into your next season of profitability. In order for me to do it, you got to believe. In order for you to believe it, I got to do it too. Listen, last week I learned some things. And those things are, or that thing is, you should never trade pairs that have two institutions open at the same time. We have to regroup, we have to rethink, and I have to reanalyze the pairs that I'm going to trade for myself. Now for you guys, I always come back every week and I'll, spin the wheel of death and I'll show you guys what my bias is for those pairs as they are. They may move that way, they may not. For me, I'm not trading the slow pairs anymore. I'm going to trade pairs like, I'm still going to trade gold. I'm probably going to trade, GBP pairs and USD pairs. I'm probably not going to trade NZD pairs or AUD pairs anymore, especially if they end in NZD or AUD. I'm probably not going to trade JPY pairs anymore. Those are three pair sets that I personally am not going to be trading, but I will mark them up for you guys every week. It doesn't matter. CHF pairs as well, I won't be trading those, but I will mark them up if the Wheel of Death gives it. Other than that, let me show you guys what I saw, what happened, and what we're doing going forward. Here we go. All right, so last week we talked about Euro NZD, AUD JPY, and then we talked about gold. So let me put gold back up here because I'm still waiting on it to do something. It wasn't doing nothing last week. So gold, I'm still waiting on it. I'm waiting on it to, it's going to come down, right? I'm still waiting on it to come down into this gap because I told you guys I'm only doing buys. So for gold, I'm still waiting on it to come down into this gap so we can go back up and, go bullish for the continuation. If news comes and brings it down here, that's perfect because once it turns around during Asian, I can literally pass all these challenges at the same time with a 0.5. Now, let's talk about AUD JPY and how it burned me. But it was my own fault because I should have looked at the extra time frame. Okay, so last week I told you guys that it was selling. And to my knowledge, it was. On the weekly, I said that there was a gap here. That's what I said. That's what I said. Yep, this is what I said. This is what I said. I chose this pair over AUD over NZD because it had already traded through this gap and AUD had not. But boy, was I wrong. If we look on the monthly, we see that price traded into this internal range liquidity pool, took out this liquidity here. I'm going to just call it liquidity because it could be intermediate or it can't be short term, but it's one of the two terms. I can't remember which one it is. Came down here on the monthly, took this out, and then now it's going bullish. So if we go on the daily, we're in an internal and our external should be here and then wherever else it chooses to go. But unless price decides to come down, back down into this gap, I don't see it. So that is where I messed up. So learn from me, check all your time frames, all your higher time frames. So that means the monthly, weekly, and the daily, the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Let's look at Euro NZD. Okay, so last week I told you guys that I was choosing Euro NZD over GBP NZD because it looked like the stronger pair. It hasn't mitigated this gap yet. Let me put GBP NZD over here. I entered on Sunday, and when I entered on Sunday, price seemed to consolidate a lot. Let me show you guys where I entered. I entered right here. This is where I entered. Price went up 192 pips, then came down and started consolidating, and then it's, coming down. It might take out this and then shoot back up, but it's still a no-go for me because I'm not used to it doing all this stuff, right? Hell, I'm not used to it doing anything at all because I don't really trade this pair. At this point, I don't want to trade it. So it might just end up going to its external draw, right? But right now, me and it are not friends right now. So those are the pairs that I marked up last week. Let's get into the Wheel of Death and see what pairs you're going to mark up this week and where I think that they're going to go. All right, so I've taken off the pairs that we have already marked up. These are the ones that we have left. And so I'm going to pick 2 of these and we're going to see what happens with that. So here we go. I know I'm bound to get the one that I don't like. Here we go. Okay. AUD is the first one. All right, CAD, AUD and CAD. This means that next week I'm not even going to spend. USD and CHF are going to be the pairs that we're going to trade next. Well, not trade, but I'm going to mark up next week, and then we're going to start over. So let me do some house cleaning, and I'll come back. All right, so we got Euro and GBP. So on the monthly, this time I'm looking at all the time frames, starting with the higher time frame. I'm not missing nothing this week, okay? On the monthly, we see a monthly internal range liquidity gap that we're waiting for price to tap into. Now it looks like price is going to get there first on GBP. So what I'll do, or what I suggest or recommend that you do, is place a alert right at the low of this wick right here. This is what I'm gonna do. And as soon as it taps it, I'm gonna see what happens. But by the looks of it, I can just clearly see on GBP, the price clearly took out this external range liquidity over here, and it's coming down into this gap. I don't see any other gaps that it could trade into except for this one down here. So that is what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on either one of these to tap this gap, that monthly gap, and then we're gonna go down to the daily. And we're gonna enter from the daily, and then we're gonna ride it up to buy side. Whichever one hits, well, I'm not even gonna say whichever one hits first, because that's not true. Whichever one makes the change in state delivery first, that is the one that I'm gonna go with. And I believe that this week it's gonna be GBP AUD. Moving over to CAD, I see that on the monthly, there is a monthly internal range liquidity gap right here. I'm going to make an alert there. But here's the thing, I don't see, we need to take out this point of interest. We need to touch that. Somebody needs to touch that. So prices come up just a little bit more, take that, come back down. I'm waiting on price to take out external range liquidity and then come back down into this gap, and then I will buy up from there. I cannot say for certain that Euro-CAD is going to be the pair, but I'm saying it because based on what I'm looking at on the monthly, there's no gap that hasn't been traded into on GBP. So for this pair set, I'm going to choose Euro over GBP this week. Now, as far as AUD CAD and NZD CAD, child, I ain't trading this. Not even trading. I'm not even going to mark this up. Because, to be honest, like, how can you? What am I marking up? Where? I know that there's no gaps. Not a NAN one. Not a NAN one, okay? I see this one over here. Price came down, tapped into the gap, went up, came down. I don't know what direction this is going in. Whoever trades this pair, good luck to you, kudos to you. But it shall not be, and it will not be me. I want to say the price came down, took out this liquidity, and is heading up to this external range liquidity. But again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong because I can't find my bias. Weekly, okay, I see a gap here. So it could be shooting up to external range liquidity. All right. I had USD CAD on here. I'll try and mark that up just for the sake of it being in the group. So here we go. Okay, so on the monthly, I see that we are tapped into this monthly internal range liquidity pool. Now I'm looking for price to shoot up, which it's pretty much gonna do. This is where I want price to go to. So on the daily, I see that price came down, took out this liquidity right here. Where would I enter from? This would have been my order block, my change in state delivery right here. If I were watching this, which I am not, I would have longed this here for a 1 and 2 going here. Actually, that's not even all our draw, but okay. So Sunday opens up. It might come deeper into this gap because this stop loss is tight, but that is what I'm looking for USD CAD. So USD CAD, I'm looking for a buy. NZD CAD, I'm not looking for nothing. GBP CAD, I'm waiting for price to sell into this gap and then turn around so we can buy up for continuations. Euro AUD or AUD in general, I'm looking for either one of these to tap into this monthly gap so that we can buy up. I'm only looking for buys. All right, that's the game plan. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking for. And now I'm going to have me some pot roast. I'm going to get ready for work. Wait for the market to open up and have me a wonderful day. You guys be blessed. Take care. And may you always enter and exit in profit. Toodles.